Welcome to the preview of the Locate Your Place app. This is an application that is created by a locator for locators. So this is created really truly by yours truly, I should say, by me, because I've moved over 1,000 households and probably have more than 1,000 leases right now. And I think with this problem that I'm trying to solve, which is streamlining and being a little bit more efficient with searches, this is the app that I've created, and it's being iterated and improved on almost every single month. To start off with the app, whenever you first log in, you will have an admin dashboard. You could customize your profile with inputting your information, and this would also automatically update your email signature. The biggest thing that we have is the listings library that we have. So this is currently we have 427 in our library, and this is very, how would you say, as much update as possible through just tech, and we're able to grab availability as soon as possible, and the real-time availability of some of these units are is great, which will help a lot of users out. With this library, you could search just as really for meant for browsing, or if you're interested in a property real quick. For example, we're just going to put West Point, for example. If you click View Details, you'll see all the information that we have already populated for this page specifically within our app. And you will see all this information, including specials. Right now, the property is not projecting any specials, maybe on the website or any listings website. So that's why you will see no current specials available. But in the case that the data that we are grabbing is not available, or they're not being presented for some reason, we have a manual override, which our company basically grabs the information and manually inputs this. And you will always see an updated time and date of when it was updated. So sometimes, because there's a lack of information online, we are able to do this in manually. And then if it's manually, you could see if it's outdated or when it was last updated. So for example, today is August 11th. This is actually updated yesterday. So you could see all the info here. Majority of this information is able to, and presented to your clients whenever you send them the list. They'll be able to see this page, with exception of the private notes. The private notes will normally have the compensation that is given by the property, and of course here as well. This will be hidden essentially by your clients whenever you see it, so they don't know, they don't get a little bit too how would you say, FOMO, or jealous of how much you earn whenever you lease a place like this. So you will also see the availability is real time as best as possible. I would say it's 95% accurate. Of course, there's some delays and things like that could change within a split second. Everybody knows that has been in this business, but you can see all the available units and the date that is available. So it's showing available now, or this one's showing available August 12th. Of course, you could always go to the website, which is already linked here, and you can see all the information and grab it and double check it if you are hesitant to send the information that we already have grabbed for you. The second cool thing about our application, the features, is really our CRM. This is created for really the dream pipeline of the workflow that most agents will go through. So you'll see initial leads, active clients, sent lists, touring, etc. It goes all the way down until basically they're completed. You have already collected the invoice, or you're waiting for the invoice. So what you could do here, for testing purposes, you would see test, and I created basically a guest card for my clients. So it will populate here, and if you ever have to change anything, you could change here. You can input the email. So I'm just gonna send it to myself. I'm gonna send it to myself. So this is my email. Bam. And I click save, click enter, bam. And then if I want to, let's just say, do a search real quick. I want to search for West Point, right? West Point, I know it's in the northwest side or the far west side, so it's already here. Everything is already proximidated, I guess that's the word, with the zip codes and everything. And this is based on very product knowledge wise. So you could see that if I'm trying to search for West Point, then I have to click this, or I'm searching for the northwest side, and this is the area. Or maybe they want to see downtown area as well. You could click multiple ones. just making sure you click save. And of course, let's just say we're looking for a 1 bedroom, 1 bath. So create the criteria right here. Make sure I have all the info. And then I search the price range. So let's just say I have a max of 1500. And then the true budget is really just a notes for me. Let's just say I told myself over the phone I want to stay under 1200. I know that West Point right now is giving a very high special, so I could teach my client how to amortize the special, and then perhaps this is just a note for me as an agent to show that it's like, okay, I know that they're trying to stay around this price range, but in order for the search to work, you have to always increase the price, right? The lease start date, let's just say I'm available now all the way to September 1st. All right, click next. And then you could always take notes for your own purposes. Over here does not change anything with the search criteria, but it's very good information to have as an agent. You could always see that these are the non-negotiables or like the features that their client might want. And so you could click like this, and this does not affect the filter. Right now, it's really a mental note or like a note for you as the agent to decipher. And then you could always add comments on here to add additional customized notes for each specific client. So once that's all filled out over here, I could click search. What this does is basically filter out all the options and availability real time, and based on whatever I told the CRM that this client is looking for, it will populate. So we have 80 matches, and this will populate from basically the cheapest option all the way to the most expensive. And of course, it distinguishes between the areas. So you can see here for downtown area, that's like 1800 Broadway right now. And then the cheapest option is the New England Village. But let's just say we are trying to find like West Point right now, right? The quickest option to find if you have like a property in mind already, let's just say I want to look West Point just to use that, you could click view details right here. Okay. And you could select units. This is already populated for you. So you could select a unit to send it over to the client, or I'm actually looking for just a third floor. So this is a second floor. I'm going to click the third floor unit right here, click select, save select. And then if I want to like search more availability beyond of what the search criteria is, I can always click this button and it'll direct me to the properties details page. Which allows you to go back to what we saw in the first couple minutes. This is the whole criteria, right? If I really want to like, oh, they said all of a sudden in October for some reason, and you don't want to change the search criteria in the CRM, then you could go to this. But what this does, essentially, let's just do another example. Let's do Potrinco Commons. We have availability here. We have everything that's available now. So bam, just select, save select. And then we go all the way back up, and then you will have a saved unit list. So this is the property list that you will eventually send to your client. And you could always add notes to it. So you could do the math for the clients or add any notes that you want to do. So you could say 8 weeks free, 15 plus month lease, and then you do the math for whatever that $1,045 is. It becomes like 890 something ish or whatever. But you can input any notes on here, right? And then you could click save, and then it's like this property is a Lynn property. I hate Lynn properties, and this is just an opinion, but you could put whatever you want is what this point is. And so right now you're able to save and send the guest cards to every single one of your properties that's already on this save property list. And then you could also send it to your clients. So if you send an email, bam, it sends to it, successfully sent to the client. And then you can click this. I'm not going to click it because it will automatically send the guest card to these properties. I'm not going to send like this random guest card. But what you will see, I'm going to drag my email here that it sent. This is the email that I got. Okay. This is the email that they will see. It's like, hello, this is the name of the client. I put test, right? It's like, here are the properties, and this is your name and your profile. And then they could see the property list. They have a preview first, and then they will see your notes, right? All of a sudden you say you hate Lynn properties on here. All right, great. And then you see the notes for here for West Point Oaks. Okay, great. And then what your client will be able to see is really, all right, I want to get more details about this property, and then this is what they will see. Because I'm logged in, that's why it's showing this, but it will not show the special tax. It will not show the agent compensation. And then if they want to click on Google Maps to see exactly where it's at, they can zoom out. And this is all on the desktop, but it is mobile friendly as well. So this is catered for mobile. Really, that's our true emphasis because most people will be looking on their phones all the time whenever you send them a list. And that's really the big meat and potatoes of this is really this availability uh, technology that we have, and we're able to show real time availability, and it's showing available now. But if we're trying to find something, this is just the property list here. But if we're trying to find, let me exit out here. If we're trying to find the actual availability, let's just say like close as possible, you could always change this to October, for example, right? Click next. And then if you want to hone down on it, you could always just do, for simplicity's sake, let's do this. And we just have to click search again. Bam, it's a little bit less properties because it's not big of a range right now. Most places are available now, and so it will automatically filter out the options for you. So you could go back to see what's available and then click units. Oh, it's available September 7th. Okay, great. This is within our time frame. I'm going to save this list. I'm going to do this with pros too. Let's double check. Okay, this is a little bit closer to October, so let's click that. Go back to saved units. Bam. So it still has the list over here. So you could always delete the option if they're not wanting something. Delete, delete. Okay, great. You have Abacus West. Oh, Patrinko Commons is still here. Delete. And then you could redo the list again, right? And you could always resend a list to the client. Bam. And what they will see is, oh, there's a new email. And they click view. Wow, great. Awesome. And the greatest thing is if we click on CRM right here, you could always input the notes and everything like that, but you get a notification of when it's opened. And you could see that it opened twice in the last 2 minutes. And since we sent the list, I already took a step out and sent the list and put it on the column of the sent list. So I know exactly where the prospect and the client is at in the process of our pipeline. Let's just say they applied, right? They did the tour and do all that stuff. They go through this pipeline and they're moving in. They got approved. And once I click moving in, it will create and allow me to create a lease confirmation. This will significantly reduce time in terms of you collecting actual confirmation that the client leased. And you're able to input all this information there. And once you do, you click submit and it'll automatically send a pre-filled out. Basically, all this is filled out already by yourself as the agent, and they're able to basically two options. They click that it's verified, this information is correct, and they just sign it, and then you will send a copy. You will get a copy of the signed copy, and then they will also get a copy. Or they could say that it's incorrect, and they could change it. They could manually change. Oh, the client's name is actually this, or this the lease information is a little bit different than what you have. So to correctly have this. So whenever you send an invoice, you're able to get the correct information and also verified and electronically signed. So hopefully you collecting information once the process is about to be finished with the client, it is super smooth, and this will allow you to get away from just paper chasing, driving to different properties, and it's as simple as the leasing office of literally clicking two buttons, and if they need to change something, of course they just type it in and then they electronically sign it, and then you also get a copy as well. And you could also see the lease confirmations eventually populate here, and then it will calculate everything for you, and it will also show, oh, you have to resend the lease confirmation, or you call the property to follow up, there's a button to resend. And then there's also going to be places where you could see the signed copy, so everything is saved directly onto the app, so it's easy access and it allows you to streamline your workflow. And hopefully you will find this application super helpful. And hopefully you love it enough to pre-order, because the prices will go up as we go live, and it will continuously improve every single month. And hopefully we can expand to different markets pretty soon.